Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
Eat Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
The biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime!
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Hey, Riley, how many touchdowns you kicked last year?
You can't kick a touchdown, Hank.
Well, maybe you can't. I need a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale.
I mean, I caught a touchdown.
That's cool. Who kicked it to you?
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you again.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
The new Bronco trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's. Grab a pack and collect the whole team. Jackson's. Let's go!
Hey, Riley, the most important position on a football team. No.
Well, it's a team sport, Hank.
Wrong. No, it's kicker. Why do you think they call it football? Why do you think Lithia Ford is having a fall kickoff sale? Tell you what they're not having, a fall tight end sale.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RopePaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, good morning from Las Vegas, Nevada, world-famous Fremont Street, Circa Resort and Casino. Another day dawns here in Las Vegas. Folks already out and about, street performers getting set up for another day out on the street here on Fremont Street. And you can even win Derek Stevens' car there. Looks like a pretty nice little ride there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. What do we have to do to win that? What bet do I need
probably
to place?
Spend a little more money than we both spend here. I'm not sure, but inside another day, one of the world's best sports books, world's best casinos here. If you've never been down to Circa Resort and Casino, come on down and join us. It's going to be a fun couple of days. Mega Bar. Now, I've told this before, Nathan, and we're going to have Kent Riddle here as well. This is the longest indoor bar in the state of Nevada.
It doesn't shock me. Incredibly long. The question I have, it doesn't seem like they've got 15 bartenders down there. Those bartenders are working their tail off, man. They are constantly making drinks, and like you get better service there than you get at any average bar in America, despite the width of it.
And of course, the crown jewel is the sports book, the world's largest sports book, Circa Resort and Casino, Circa Sports, 3 levels, and we are actually on the 3rd floor, Radio Row. We are one of several. We've got folks from San Antonio right off to our side here. We have Las Vegas, San Diego, Kansas City, and you come into the ballroom here. There's our friends Alex Gold over there, Kansas City, setting up earlier this morning for their show. Las Vegas is here as well, ESPN Las Vegas, and back here in the corner, maybe for a good reason, they've got us back here in the corner, but we are right next to the bar. Yeah. So that may come in handy for Brad or Kent a little later. I don't know, but excited to be here. Let us know in the chat if you can hear us okay, see us okay. And we are here at the Ultimate Contest weekend, and we're really excited. We're going to talk plenty of Boise State football. Don't worry. We're just moved the location down here to Vegas, but we're going to talk some gambling odds when it comes to the Pac-12 over-unders. You can give your over-unders in the chat as well. Boise State's gambling odds, the playoff odds for the group of 6 teams. I think there's some interesting ones there as well, but we're excited to be here and excited to welcome in our man Kent Riddle as well. So we'll fix the chair situation here on the fly as we bring in Kent. You almost made it, Kent. I told him he had time to go get a coffee, so that's on me. You were not late, Kent, but or Diet Coke, I guess it is. But appreciate everybody for checking us out. We got Nathan Carroll, we got Kent Riddle. My name is BJ Rains, and we are excited to be here at Circa Resort and Casino. We got a nice lengthy show for you here. We're going to be on the air a little longer than usual. Derek Stevens is going to join us as well, and we're going to talk, as I said, some Boise State. We're going to talk some Pac-12, some gambling, a lot of stuff to get to, but always fun coming down here, always fun signing up for the contest. And again, if there's any, looks like you can all hear us, see us okay, because I'm not getting any flack in the chat, but fun limo ride over yesterday, Kent, and always fun coming down here to Circa.
Absolutely. It's great to be here. Excuse me, but Circa people roll out the red carpet. Fantastic place. So,
Nathan, I know we enjoyed a good dinner over at the Andiamo Steakhouse last night at the D. We got some fun events planned the next couple of days here. There's a happy hour event tonight with Derek Stevens, all the folks that work here at Circa, and then all the media from around the country here. I mentioned we have the San Antonio station here. We had Kansas City, and I did say maybe this will come in handy for Brad tomorrow, but they did set us up. We're the closest set up to the bar here, so
that's probably not coincidence.
But there's the happy hour tonight. Tomorrow there's a pool party. There's an event at Legacy Club with some fireworks tomorrow night. So we're signing folks up for the contest, the Circa Millions, the Circa Survivor, $30 million in guaranteed money on the line, guys, down here this year. And like I said, we're going to talk plenty of Boise State and Pac-12. But if we do get a check of the numbers here for the contest, they're already up to 12,842 entries. You see on the left there for the Survivor contest. So they guaranteed $20 million, guys, and they're trending way above that. They're thinking the Survivor may get close to 25 million winner take all. We'll get Derek Stevens to give us the update here in about an hour. But I just want to know, Kent, there's 31 entries in the Grandissimo. That's $100,000 to get in that one. It was at 30, when we got here. So were you the one that added your name in there? Or?
No.
$100,000 for the Grandissimo.
That's like a serious deal.
31 people are in it. They've guaranteed $4 million in that one. But they're trending above on all of these. The millions as well is at 2,800. That's the pick 5 every week. So if you're a gambler, or if you're just a football fan, an NFL football fan, we encourage you to find a way to get down to Las Vegas. Sign up. You can sign up until the NFL season starts here in a couple of weeks. You see the schedule there on the right with the cocktail party, the open bar out at the pool tomorrow. Forgot about the blackjack tournament tomorrow evening as well. And then the football preview on Saturday with Mike Palm. So a lot of fun stuff going on down here in this place. It's one thing about this place, man. It's first class and they treat you right down here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything here is great.
Yeah, absolutely. The food's incredible. The people are incredible. My wife, who's down here for the first time, we wake up this morning, we go to breakfast, and she goes, every staff member here is so friendly, just over the top friendly. Like everyone has been so helpful, so accommodating. It's the best. If you're coming down to Vegas, come stay at Circa. It really is the best.
We got folks watching from all over the country as well. We always appreciate you guys for watching us. And Boise State back on the practice field, back in Boise right about now. Kent, we are 9 days from the season opener. And again, we're going to get into some of the numbers, some of the gambling odds here. But 9 days from the opener against Oregon, what's kind of from a coach's perspective, where are they at in terms of game plan? Where are they at in terms of today's a Thursday, and then obviously game week will start Sunday. But where are they kind of at this point as they get 9 days from the Oregon game?
Well, the game plan's probably 90% done. This is always a big week because it's kind of your prep week. It's an extra Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday practice, and Friday for that matter. And then I'm sure they'll do some kind of modified game-like deal on Saturday. It won't be a scrimmage, and they probably won't go live. Maybe they will for a few plays or something, but
we go through the warm-up and all that? Or?
Yeah, well, they did that last week.
Okay.
But they'll do it again, and it'll be some version of it, maybe abbreviated this week. But, I was talking to some of the guys last week. There's so many new faces on a college football team this year, or this time everywhere, but that's a big deal because you don't want to be out there running around on game day looking like, well, where do we go? So a couple times to run through that just so it's just one of those things that bothers people, He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know, is he going to be all right in the game?
And it is crazy how much they practice taking a knee. Like they practice the victory formation.
Yeah,
like you practice
absolutely.
literally everything you're going to need to know how to do.
Yeah. I mean, all the situations, they're working on them, right up till game day, and stuff that might not even come up this year. Maybe it's something that only comes up once, every few years, like to roll out and throw the ball as high and far as you can out of bounds to try and burn 6 or 7 seconds off the clock. And you better be right on that one. Remember BYU and Arizona State a couple years ago.
Arizona back on the clock.
Kind of got cute, and I mean, you don't want the defense to have to run out there for one play. So you're timing that thing. Like, all right, what's realistic? All right, maybe we should subtract like a second off of that just in case. But those are the kind of things you're working on. But this week is such a big deal. First week of class for the players, and then you're getting into that routine of, okay, here's what we do Monday, here's what we do Tuesday, here's what we do Wednesday, here's Thursday. And so the players feel it. So, and you're practicing the game plan. And I guess really the game plan's probably done. I said 90% earlier. And the reason I say that is it's done, but there's going to be something by the end of this week. You're going to be like, we're not doing that. That's just, it's too much. It's not going to come up, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like we're spending too much. So then next week you can really refine, and maybe you go, oh God, I can't believe we didn't have this in from the start.
Yeah.
And now you got a week to practice it. So that's the little tweaks. It's not really that you're waiting to finish the last 10%.
Yeah.
It's just kind of making changes.
Well, it seemed like the reps were getting way cut down too in terms of the backup players. We were at practice yesterday, and then some of the team stuff, they had the first and second stringers were getting a lot of work, and the third and fourth stringers were doing a lot of watching, as opposed to early in camp when they were splitting into the two areas and getting guys way more work. And you got those guys work, you set their depth chart, but now you got to lock in on the guys that are likely to see the field.
Absolutely. Changing the you're certainly changing the reps. You're getting more on the other one, or more for the guys that are going to play, and still a fair amount for the twos, but the other guys are certainly backing out of it.
Yeah,
you're trying to get them a few plays here and there, and you're really refining kind of your personnel groups on offense. Like, hey, this is your play. Like, you're going to be in there for this, so let's get this repped.
Now,
I
folks,
did see that somebody said I was closing the bar down. I did not. I was in bed last night at like 10.
Well, somebody else wants to know, am I the only one wondering if there's whiskey in that Diet Coke?
There is not.
It's a little early for that.
My voice is, yes, it's been bad. It's been bad for like a week. I think some of the allergies and battle cold last week.
I don't know what tomorrow morning will be like, but this morning at least, I think we all are feeling pretty good. But
yeah, we should have been as early as the night as
I
you
went
could
to bed
have.
I almost had the problem of going to bed too early last night, where I was 6 a.m. I ended up getting up and coming and setting all this up because I was already awake and got my 8 hours in and was good to go. I don't know which side you guys are on. We're on the pool side. Mm-hmm. We're also a little lower, and so I don't know if the Fremont Street music at 11 whatever at night was still going pretty hard on a Wednesday night, and so we may be investing in some earplugs or something tonight. I don't know. I was fine with it, but I heard it every 5 minutes from my wife about the
TV up loud enough to cover it.
There you go. We have the sound machine app or whatever going with a fan or something. But no, it is truly amazing. It doesn't matter what time, day or night. You walk out on Fremont Street, you walk down here past the craps table. There was people rolling dice at 7:15 this morning. I mean, Vegas is something.
Sleep.
We've had our 4 a.m. nights here, Nathan. I mean, this place is something special.
We have, it's a lot of fun, and I know Jeremiah Dickey tweeted at us that we've got a dangerous crew coming down here, and I think the only danger last night was going to bed too early. We were all in bed by 9, 10 o'clock.
I tweeted out that we were coming down here, and I tagged us all, and Jeremiah Dickey said that was a dangerous crew coming down. So hopefully, as you said, dangerous for the money we're going to hopefully take from them.
That's right. Tonight.
By the way, that Cardinals game,
they suck you in, didn't they?
7-0, got it back to 7-7, and I may have had a decent amount of money on that to try to start the trip off with a win, and that did not go too well. So
while we were eating dinner, I get the notification tie ball game or whatever. I'm like, they're sucking BJ back in.
Yep, they are.
He probably turned it on in the night.
I did. I had dinner. I did the little rule where you're not supposed to do it, but I had it on dinner because I was trying to follow it and they blew it. But if you got a question or comment, Boise State football related, gambling related, whatever you got, get it in the ICCU YouTube chat, and we'll get to that throughout the show. Again, Derek Stevens, the owner of this palace, is going to join us a little bit later on the show as well as we talk with him about this contest, the evolution of it. I mean, it started 5 years ago, and I mean, he was. They were like texting their friends to try to sign up so they could get enough people in it. And now they're going to go past $25 million for the entry here. What's the furthest you guys have made it in the Survivor here, Kent?
I think last year we were into week 8 or 9, maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I mean, we made it for a while.
I was Thanksgiving
I've also
last
been
week.
out on week 1.
I've lost week 1 and I've lost week 2. Last year I made it to Thanksgiving, and I was feeling really good. The first 2 games I had those huge upsets, and then I had the Ravens. That was the weekend where all 4 outright favorites lost on Black Friday and Thanksgiving, and they went from 900 in the pool to like 50 in a span of like 24 hours or whatever. So always fun watching. If you guys haven't had a chance, our man Brad Bedell, who will be on tomorrow's show, he is actually featured in the VSiN documentary. There's a documentary on the contest from last year. There's 5 episodes, and Brad Bedell is actually featured and interviewed in that contest. He may have had a beverage or two before that interview, but it was it's a fun show. And if you want to know about the contest, you can go on there and read that. Blake wants to know, can you get me $1 on Maddox Madsen for Heisman? That's one odds I need to look up. I didn't see I need to go find Heisman odds.
Field, right?
Now I don't. He's probably not listed, but usually if you're a top group of 5 team, I could see Dylan Riley or Sire Gaines, one of them maybe being on there.
They might have Maddox on there.
I'll look it up while we're talking here, because I know a couple years ago with Genty going into that season, like early on in like this off season, he wasn't even on the board. They finally added him at like 2,000, and I know people had $20 tickets at like 2,000 to 1 or whatever, going all the way down and then getting that close to being $20 to pay whatever it would have been, $4,000 or whatever. So we'll see. I would assume for the top group of 5 team, they probably have somebody on there. We'll get to the gambling odds and some of that here in a minute. What else, Kent? Just what are your overall thoughts? Just 9 days, how you're feeling about this team? What you think that you feel most confident they're going to be good at? Are there any areas you're still? And I know you're the ultra positive guy, so maybe not. But is there any areas you're still slightly concerned with? Just where are you? with this team 9 days before the opener here. And then Nathan will get your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I am. I feel good about it. The little bit of practice I've seen, they look sharp. Just talking to some of the guys, it sounds like practices are going well, very competitive, very physical. And that's going to be what probably sets us apart. I mean, everybody wants to talk about completion percentage and, whatever, but the physicality is going to be what sets this team apart. And I think they're pretty good up front on both sides. I think the O-line and D-line, the front seven on defense in general, but they got guys that can cover. I think that's, there's a lot of depth there. So, and from what I've heard, the receivers have been killing it. So you guys have seen a little bit more than I have, but that was probably a big concern, but it sounds like that's kind of taking care of itself. I'm excited to see that. Obviously deep at running back and got an experienced quarterback. I expect Maddox, if he can stay healthy all year, which I think he will, I really do. I expect him to have a big year.
By the way, before we get to your thoughts, Maddox Madsen, you can go downstairs here at Circa and bet on Maddox Madsen to win the Heisman Trophy. He is 400-1.
Okay. Wow. I was gonna
that'd be what, 40,000?
Yeah, plus 40,000. So I was gonna guess 250-1. So
he's tied with Jackson Arnold, the UNLV quarterback. It's basically about as lowest odds you can get. There's a couple of 500-1s, but 400-1. So you could bet $10 and win 4,000. Maddox Madsen to win the Heisman.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. You could actually he's an option to go down there and bet. That's cool.
I would not advise that bet though. I will not be putting money on Maddox Madsen. I think if anyone on this team is going to end up, even a Heisman finalist, I think it's probably going to be one of the running backs breaking out and having a big season.
Do we think there's another running back higher on the list? I'm trying to find out. I don't see one. That was the year that, by the way, when they had Ashton Genty not on there at first, they had Malachi Nelson. I believe. Was that the year they both? Malachi Nelson was here. The year was that the year he was here and then didn't play?
2024.
Yeah, but he they had and I'm like, if you got the wrong guy on there, it's not Malachi Nelson. It's going to be Ashton Genty. But if this team were to go,
12-0,
make a run and go towards the playoff here, you would think it's probably one of the running backs. So maybe those two, maybe it is Maddox. Maybe the formula is Maddox having just the best year of his career and having an amazing year, and they're 12-0, and he's in the hunt. But yes, probably not super likely. I don't see any other Boise State players on the list, by the way. Arch Manning plus 650, the slight favorite over CJ Carr and Dante Moore at plus 700. And then you have Darian Mensah and Trinidad Chambliss, Gunnar Stockton as well. But not many. Bear Bachmeier, by the way, plus 4,500 is on there as well. But Maddox Madsen, the only Boise State player listed there.
Which makes sense. He's the experienced guy, and when you get a fifth-year quarterback who is at the best G6 program, that's going to garner praise from the books and whatnot, right? But you talked about it earlier. I mean, these books aren't in the know like, you or I are, of where we get to see practice. 2 years ago, they have Malachi Nelson as the guy, and it's like, well, no, you need to have Ashton Genty listed on this list. And so Maddox Madsen's the one on there, and, if this team does go on a run, like I said, it's probably one of Sire Gaines or Dylan Riley stepping up, being the lead back. It would probably have to be one of the other guys getting hurt too, so they're giving Sire Gaines or Dylan Riley, 25, 30 carries a game. But I think realistically, probably be a little while before we need to see another group of 6 player getting a Heisman invite to the finals there. I don't think that's something that's going to come up, every 3 years. I think that Ashton Genty run in 2024 was once in a generation.
BSU Bill says they're a player prop on Nitro right receiving yards. Give me whatever the over is. Probably not an actual thing for like a random school like Boise State's receiver, but you mentioned the wide receivers. And Nitro Right is getting a lot of hype, and to this point, he's lived up to it, Nathan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, he's had a really strong camp. I think at this point going into the season, he'd probably be my pick to be the leading receiver, just from what we've seen from him in terms of the consistency. Every practice, he's getting looks and performing at a high level. He's come in and had a really strong camp, and I think adding the weight came in, and I think he's added 30 pounds this summer. I think it's proving well. He looks more athletic, looks more explosive. They probably don't have season-long totals, but certainly
where would you put his number at? Probably for either yards or catches.
Where would I put it at for catches?
What's a reasonable? That will be a one where you'd have to think about going over under.
Probably like in the 500 range.
for yards?
For yards.
Okay.
Yeah. 505.
I know it's different now, Kent, but when you bring in a JUCO guy, what's that like as a coach trying to project how that translates to the next level? And in the past, a lot of times it took JUCO guys a year, and then you'd get them that second year, and they'd really start to take off, and then you wish you had them for another year, and that was the last year. Now I know with guys moving around up and down, we're seeing it at basketball too, where NAIA guys are coming in and starting. I mean, how do you? I mean, Nitro Wright had phenomenal stats. I think 25 touchdowns in 22 games, 50 plus catches both seasons. I mean, how do you, as a coach, try to translate that to the Division I level? Here in this offense.
Well, and in the recruiting and evaluation, I think that's what you're looking for. I mean, you're trying to see some of the things you guys mentioned: consistency, ability, just talent, right? And then you're trying to figure out the rest of it. Like, is this guy going to show up every day and work hard? That's why some of the guys for a while, they have to figure out the pace of what's going on. And it sounds like everything I've heard, he's there. He's got all that stuff off the field. And I think part of the other deal now, JCs are a little bit different because so many other people are available and moving around. So now you're starting to see better high school players end up in JC because there just wasn't a spot for them, or they waited too long to commit somewhere. It's like that's what they have left, so that they're coming out a year early. Maybe it's not like they had to be at JC. I think that's part of the difference. So you're just seeing a different player there.
Is it speed, or is there one thing that you can always count on that does translate, or is it just? I mean, what?
No.
And also, he came in at 150 pounds and he got up to 180. Yeah. So a guy of his size, he talked about not just having ramen noodles back in his dorm room, able to get a real meal plan, a real condition. But 30 pounds is, I mean, it's a dumb question, but when you add 30 pounds, do you see that at all negatively impacting his game in terms of the speed, or is that all positive?
On how you add it, right?
Yeah.
But looking at him, there's no fat on him, so
he added good weight, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but that's what it is, and some of it, I don't think they were probably pushing him to gain weight and do all that. I think it was probably just a matter of him getting in there and having a nutrition plan and having a workout plan, and working out with a Division I football team, especially at a place like Boise State, it's a lot different than JC. I mean, JC's like the weight class in high school. It's not a very often just a rigorous plan. So, I don't know about him being the number one guy all year, or I think it's going to mix back and forth. I mean, it sounds like Ben Ford's coming along, so we'll see him. And, traditionally at Boise State, like the slot guys catch a lot of balls.
I do think Cam Bates could be in store for a big season.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that a lot of people are kind of sleeping on. The new guys, the Rashawn Jones of the world, they're always the fresh guys everybody wants to talk about and get excited about. But going into year 3, a guy like Cam Bates with his experience, he says he's, the drops were a little bit of an issue last year. He said he's spent a ton of time working on that. And I would suspect if you're another guy in that mix there, I could see Cam Bates being one of the main guys.
No doubt about it. And I think he's probably going to play a little bit of a different role this year too, where you had Latrell Caples and Chase Penry last year, who are both so good in the slot. It forced Cam Bates to play on the outside a lot more. Now, Ben Ford's a natural outside receiver. Nitro, Rashawn Jones are both outside receivers. I imagine we see a lot more Cam Bates in the slot, and he's probably going to get a lot more kind of short and intermediate stuff instead of just being a true deep threat out there. So, yeah, I said Nitro would be my pick for wide receiver 1, but I think it's going to be really close. I think between Rashawn Jones, Ben Ford, Cam Bates, Nitro, and then even Matt Wagner, I could see any one of those 5 guys leading the team in receiving yards. And I think it's a team where you probably don't have a 900-yard receiver, but you've got 5 guys who are in that 400 to 600 range. Like that's kind of how I see this all shaking out.
He's Nathan Carroll. We got Kent Riddle here as well. My name is BJ Rains. We're live at Circa Resort and Casino, part of the Ultimate Contest weekend. We're telling you about how you can get signed up to win $20+ million in the Survivor contest. They've got the Grandissimo, the Millions contest as well. So Derek Stevens, the owner of this place, is going to join us a little bit later as we get the latest on the contest and just how Circa's doing here and the sports scene in Las Vegas. Guys, as we flew in, we saw the A's stadium coming along, and it's never stops here in terms of the sports, and now the Vegas Bowl. I want to talk about the Vegas Bowl actually because you brought up something with that on one of your tweets about the attendance.
Yep.
Someone tried to tell me no, it's only because they changed the date to New Year's weekend or whatever, which was the reason for the low attendance, not the reasoning you had. Yeah. But this is becoming a sports kind of mecca here in terms of NBA is looking like it could be coming here as well, and the baseball stadium is coming. So a lot to talk about with Derek, and I want to keep the Boise State discussion going. We have some gambling numbers we want to look at, but Kent, we are excited. I know we're getting ready to reload the Riley and Ridge show here for a new season, and I know the Jackson's is going to be another great sponsor for our post game show for that show as well, and the trading cards are back.
Yeah, and it sounds like I saw a deal with Todd Michael with Jay Tuss the other day. Sounds like they redesigned them. And
they look awesome. They look, yes, they're the best
really
they've looked.
Time cards, yeah. So
they're the best they've looked. They're awesome. They are available right now at Jackson's or Extra Mile by Jackson's. You can go pick those up. We had a new commercial that we played on the intro there with those guys, Cam Bates and Dylan Riley, doing some acting out there on the blue for the cards.
It's a Duncan Dylan and the.
Yes, you get a touchdown, gets you a free donut with a coffee. Yep. When Dylan Riley gets a touchdown.
Coffee and donut for $1, I think.
Okay. I think you buy the coffee for $1, you get the free donut, however you want to do it. But then also Cam Bates, I believe, is that a 99-cent soda? Or what's Cam Bates' deal? I forget.
It might, yeah.
I should know.
I think it was.
Sorry, Jackson.
I think it was $1 for soda.
Any size soda if he scores a touchdown. So hopefully a little better luck for these two than they've had in the past with Breezy and some of those guys. But get out to Jackson's. Get out to Taco.
This one's pretty safe.
Get out to Taco Bell as well. TacoBellWorks.com. The SON Management Group, the Nicolason family just made that $1 million donation to Boise State Athletics. You can return the favor, whether it's breakfast, as hash browns, or any of the great options there at Taco Bell. You can get out to TacoBellWorks.com to get more information. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Appreciate Matt for his support of Bronco Nation News. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up our friend Matt Bauscher at Bauscher Real Estate and rowpaint.com as well. Andy Rowe and Company, all your painting needs, those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, any painting project that you have around your house, 991-0567. Hit up rowpaint.com. All right, offensive line. I want to go there for a second. I know you're a good friend of yours, Chris Strasser. He has been on the Riley and Ridge show actually in the past. He's now back in the fold, and I know it's getting a lot of talk about him being back, and we've been at practice, and he's as involved as Tim Keene is. He's coaching one group; they're able to split it into two groups, and nothing against any of the GAs they have, but when you have they've tried to do they've done that in the past where you have the two groups going, but when you have a guy like Chris Strasser, who again. Tim Keene is a phenomenal offensive line coach, but on paper, you could make an argument like the more qualified or the person with the better resume, so to speak, is Chris Strasser, and he's the assistant offensive line coach. But they have two of those guys, the best probably tandem of assistant and offensive line coach, anywhere probably on the West Coast, maybe in the country, who knows? What do you, knowing Chris, first of all, we haven't had a chance to talk to him since he came back. What was still, does he just love to coach, or why does he's obviously not doing this for the money, but why do you think Chris wanted to do this? And for those of us that have been at practice, like, this is not just some token thing where his name's on there. He is, getting down in the stance and yelling at guys, and he is a coach on this team. Let folks know too. Like, I know we've talked a lot about it, but like how big of a deal this actually is, and what you think was in this for Chris.
Well, I think in it for him is he spent a year retired not doing football, and Kathy, his wife, was probably like, you need to find something to do. And you can only play so much golf.
Who was living here in the area, right?
Yeah, had moved back here, had kept his house the entire time he was gone from here. But, I mean, anytime you can, it's like having Coach Cutter around, anytime you have somebody like that wants to help, it's going to make you better. Coach Pete's still advising a little bit. And I think way more on leadership and organization and that sort of thing rather than on X's and O's. But Dirk and Strauss spend a lot of time helping on X's and O's. So you got that kind of stuff. But, I mean, you're talking about a guy that was one of the top O-line coaches in the NFL, and there's only 30 of them. So, if you got one of those guys sitting around wanting to help, you're going to help and you're going to listen. And, things in the NFL are just so refined too. I think that's one of the things he's able to bring to it is like, hey, yeah, we got answers for that. Like, you can do it 10 different ways, but pick one and move on. Like, let's not move down this rabbit hole and just waste time and that sort of thing. I think that's what both those guys bring to it. But yeah, having Strauss out there for sure. And it gives him something to do, but then he can also at 2:00 say like, all right, I've been through practice, watched it. We're ready for tomorrow. I'll see you guys. You guys put together all the organization stuff, handle recruiting, that kind of stuff.
But he is not an analyst or whatever. He is coaching. He is out there, and he's going to be traveling.
He was coaching his ass
He's
off.
going to be he'll be traveling to the road games and stuff. Like, he's a full part of this. I mean, you joke about him leaving at 2:00, but he is all in on this. And
I'm serious. Like,
he doesn't have to maybe work quite as late as some of the
he doesn't have to
game plan type stuff and some of that. Yeah. What do you make of the offensive line, Nathan? And we obviously are waiting Monday when we'll get that depth chart to come out, but a couple battles there. And, obviously what happens at center is something that a lot of people are looking at, and then that right tackle spot as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things Tim Keene has done really well here at Boise State is just build out optionality for them, build depth for them. I mean, over the past 2 seasons, you go back to 2024, I think they started 10 different offensive linemen throughout the season, and at no point did fans say, man, this guy is a disaster, man, this offensive line is collapsing. The fact that they've been historically 9-10 deep under Tim Keene has been a real strength, and I think you're seeing the fruit of that this offseason, where you've got an incumbent starter at left guard, you've got an incumbent starter at right tackle who are being pushed and might lose their jobs. Like, Jason Steele was a solid player last year. It's not like he was bad, and it's not like, oh, we got to replace this guy.
Yeah.
But there's just other really good options in there that are allowing Boise State to be able to choose, right? Who do we want as the left guard? Who's going to give us the best possible chance? I think despite losing Cage Casey, I think the offensive line is in great shape. Now, the way the staff talks about Tyler Etheridge at left tackle, you'd think that he's as good as Cage Casey. I mean, Nate Potter compared him to Ryan Clady, which is obviously an incredibly high praise. So I think for the most part, offensive line is in a good spot. I've really liked what I've seen at right tackle. Dalen Matoyer, to me, looks physically better than he's been. Like, on the team roster, I think he's added 10 pounds, but he's lost some of the belly, put on muscle in his arms and in his upper half. And Jacob Tracy, I mean, he was a guy who's a true freshman last year. We were highlighting in our camp columns of this guy's pretty impressive for a true freshman. He's taken another step. I don't know who's going to win that job, but I do think right tackle, which has been a problem spot for the past 2 years, right? Hallschmidt 2 years ago, I think, led the team in penalties. Last year, Dalen Matoyer led the team in penalties and was team high in pressures. I think right tackle is going to be better this year than they've had in a few years.
And if it is Matoyer, they could have, I guess it's Matoyer now, we found out, but you could have 330 Roger Carrion, 330 Dalen Matoyer. I mean, the right side of the line, 330 pound guys. It's not a bad spot if they decide to run the ball that way, I guess.
No,
but
they've got beef on the offensive line.
Rid, tell us about the tight ends, a position you obviously know very well and have coached that position for a long time and still in touch with a lot of those guys. And obviously, Justin Udi takes over as a tight ends coach this year as Nate Potter kind of transitions to just the offensive coordinator. And it has been fun watching Nate. I saw him there with the O-line. You talk about having Strasser and Keene. You saw Strasser. You talk about Strasser and Keene. I saw a drill yesterday at practice before I went to the airport. I went to practice, and you had Potter over there, down there right there in their face doing a drill. So it allows Nate to kind of move around to the different positions. He's out there with the quarterback slot and some of the other throwing stuff. But the tight ends, Brown, the freshman, he was getting a lot of talk before he got here because of who his parents were. Ronda Rousey's his stepmom, I believe, and his dad is a champion, I believe, as well, fighter. And then he got here, and it was like, okay, no, it's not. We're talking about him because he can play, and he is a big kid. And Spencer Danielson said at the last press conference, like, whether it's right now or soon, he's going to play a lot here at Boise State. Brown is the guy to keep an eye on. Obviously, we know about Matt Wagner. I mean, what do you think he's poised for? And then how do you kind of look at the group behind him as well?
Yeah, I think they've got really good depth there. I think in Wags, they got a guy, he can really get physical in the run game. He can help out in pass protection, but he can get down the field. He's probably more like John Bates than anybody else that's been at tight end in a while, where he can do everything, but his best thing he's going to do is be physical at the line of scrimmage, and he can handle the ends, and I think he's going to have a big year. I don't know how many passes he's going to catch. I mean,
we never worried about that. We never asked you that, right?
But I say that because sometimes, I even think like John with the Commanders, he doesn't catch a ton of passes, but I mean, he's really their starting Y, because he's so good. They can leave him in on protection, and it helps. And, I was talking to John a while back, and going into whoever they were playing, but it was one of the Bosa brothers. It was a defensive end, and he's like, I'm going to be on this guy pass pro, so I'm going to look and see what he does to other tight ends or whatever. Went through the whole year, and there was like one clip of a tight end trying to pass block him. But the Commanders put John on him the whole game, and not a problem. So I think some of that for Wags, where you're going to see that he might be more in and some protection stuff. Not all the time, don't get me wrong, but that's going to affect it. They're going to miss Matt Lauder because he was after the catch guy, probably better than most tight ends we've had here recently.
He got picked up, right? By the way, did I see that?
Vikings.
Yep. So, but they have guys to replace him, and then you're going to see some of the role player guys. You're going to see Austin Terry a little bit. Brown, I think, is going to have a huge impact on what they're doing. He's another guy that's a big guy, so kind of gives you some freedom there instead of having necessarily the one big guy and one smaller, more athletic. You're going to have two bigger guys. It's going to take him a minute. I mean, I wouldn't expect to see him out there it's going to take him a second to figure Oregon out, right?
Yeah.
But that's going to set him up for a lot of success the rest of the year.
You mentioned you not knowing how many catches he's going to get. Well, what are you guys thinking in terms of pass versus run this year? When you have this kind of running, these running backs that you have, I mean, I know they always say they would love for it to be 50-50, but I mean, is this going to be 60-40, 70-30? I mean, how do you see them leaning on the running game this year, Nathan, and when they're going to choose to rely on Maddox Madsen?
Yeah, I was actually just looking at these numbers. In 2024, they ran the ball about 52% of the time. Last year, they threw the ball about 55% of the time. Part of that comes when you're winning games, you're going to run the ball more. When you're losing games or you're in more close games, you tend to throw the ball a little bit more. So I'd imagine we probably see a very similar 50-50 split where at the end of the year, if everything goes well, they are right in that range where it's not a 60-40 or a 70-30. But no doubt about it, this team, they want to have a physical identity. They want to establish the run and let the pass game sort of be a complement to the run game, right? And it starts with the offensive line, which we talked about earlier, but that's where for these tight ends, someone like Matt Wagner is going to be so valuable because tight ends, as you know, it's a tough position to play because you've got to be able to catch like a receiver and block like an offensive lineman. For an 18, 19-year-old kid coming into his first year of college football, that's a tough thing to do. So I think Matt Wagner, like you were saying, going to have a massive role because I do anticipate a really good balance. I think they do use him quite a bit, at least in the short game, the play action. Last year he had 24 catches, and that was with Matt Lauder in there. I don't think he's going to be an 80-catch guy like Matt Lauder was 2 years ago, but I think somewhere in the range of 50 catches I could see for him, just because he's so valuable in play action and running a lot of underneath stuff. He's not the vertical threat that Lauder was, right? Don't anticipate him running a bunch of seam routes and getting 50-yard touchdown catches or anything. But in general, I think I might be a little bit more optimistic than most on Wagner and his ability in the receiving game. But I think he's a stud.
Oh, I think he has tremendous ability, and I think you're going to see him in the seam route a bunch. I just think it's going to be, way more 20 or 30-yard plays than 50.
Yeah. But one of his most memorable plays we didn't even count against Notre Dame. He had a huge catch late in the first half that would have maybe given them the lead at halftime, and it got called back because of a penalty.
Yeah, he has unbelievable potential and talent. Well, he has great production already. So I don't know if potential is the right word. He's a guy you're fired up about, you can win with. But yeah, how many catches he has, it's always funny because the better they run the ball, the more catches he's going to get. I'll say that because you're going to get that in the play action, the the bootlegs and nakeds, that sort of thing. So how much of that versus drop back pass? I think you're going to see him way more in the play action game than in the drop back game.
I mean, this is kind of a dumb question, but Gaines and Riley, how great do you feel about that, Rid, going into the season? Those two, and then the guys behind them sounds like are pretty, making some, headlines as well with how they're looking. Harry Stewart and Jules Goff bringing in 2 Power 4 transfers. I mean, that's pretty rare. I've said this multiple times this fall, but pretty rare to get both Gaines and Riley to come back to a school like Boise State in this era of transfer portal and NIL money, to get both those guys back and to be able to have them be cool with kind of feeding off each other and not one guy getting all the touches and all the action. I mean, I know we're kind of prisoner of the moment here, but I mean, what could this running back room be in terms of some of the numbers they could put up and how good they could be?
Well, the only thing that's going to prevent them from putting up big numbers is how many of them need to touch the ball. Yeah. But the flip side is you got depth. You're going to have fresh guys. I mean, you're not going to go through a season in college football, Division I football, without your running backs getting beat up a little bit. I'm not saying injured, but I mean, they'll be feeling fine by game day. But the more you can, I mean, I remember Jay back in 14, he basically practiced. I mean, he was out there every day practicing, but like active work, like 1 day a week. Mm-hmm. And because his load was going to be so heavy on Saturday, we just
wasn't worth it.
Yeah. And he was bad on a knee that would swell up, and he'd already had surgery and all that. So we managed him. And I don't want to make it sound like he just sat over there and did nothing. That's not what I'm saying, but it was definitely a lighter load, knowing what was coming. And that's one of those things we had to manage, because he was one guy. Well, now you got two that Dylan ran for 1,000 yards and Sire was right there. Mm-hmm. I would think there's a decent chance they both run for 1,000 yards. I think the only thing that's going to hold them back is either playing time for one reason or another, or, we add these other two guys in and they start getting, if those guys each get 75 carries over the year or something, that's probably going to cut into those other ones.
Now, Malik Sherrod is a different kind of back than those Goff and Stewart are, but he did have, I think Malik Sherrod had 84 carries last year. So that is carries that'll have to go to some of those other guys. But I would almost say that the betting, and maybe this isn't, I would say I'd almost be more surprised than not if they didn't both get to 1,000 this year.
I mean, it's so tough to get two guys to 1,000.
Yeah, that's why I was saying the betting odds may not technically be favored, but I would think there's a real good chance.
I definitely think it's on the table, and I'd say, like, betting odds wise, I would expect if they're both healthy to get to 800 yards apiece. Like, I think that's kind of the benchmark that both those guys
did that last year. There should be no reason they should.
Right? Yeah, they both did it last year, but you mentioned it. I mean, it's just tough. Guys get beat up. Right, we saw that last year. Sire Gaines was the starting running back for the first 2 games, and then against Air Force only gets 3 carries because he had been banged up. They put him on a little bit of a snap count, and of course that's the game that Dylan Riley comes out and has 6 touchdowns, right? Like, I think there's always going to be twists and turns, and maybe guys get beat up, and then all of a sudden it's, Jules Goff has 150 yards against South Dakota, and now Jules Goff is in the rotation, right? Like, a lot of uncertain things can happen, but I do know this: it's a very talented running back room, and whether it's Gaines and Riley, or Gaines and Riley and Goff, or Gaines and Riley and Stewart, or maybe all 4 of them, like, Boise State's going to have a really good running back out on the field at all times.
All right, let's go to the topic everyone's always debating: Maddox Madsen, the starting quarterback, and get your guys' thoughts on Mad Dog. And again, 400-1 for the Heisman. I mean, $100 would win you 40,000 if you're feeling like it could be and maybe you think they're going to beat Oregon and they get off to a hot start, and then maybe you can hedge your bet a little bit later down. I don't know, but Maddox Madsen, always a polarizing figure, the starting quarterback at Boise State, and I know there's I think most people have come around on him, but there's still the small 1% when you look at some of the
never going to change their mind.
Hold that thought, because I want to thank a couple great sponsors, and then we'll get to that. But the blueandorange.com, all your 40th anniversary of the Blue merchandise, whether it's do you have the jacket yet, Kent? That seems like a jacket you'd wear.
No.
We got to get you that. That looks like something there at the James on a post-game show. We could get you wearing there. A nice.
That might be a little loud for me.
All right. Well, the 40th anniversary of the Blue. They have the T-shirts, the jackets, all that stuff. You can get it at the Blue and Orange store. Again, the customized jerseys available there at the Hall of Fame location. 14,000 plus hats on the hat wall there at the location at the Boise Town Square Mall. Or as always, you can order anywhere in the world online at theblueandorange.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union. They got Pearson Carmichael. They got Maddox Madsen as well. So they're back inside as an official sponsor of Learfield and Boise State. You see the ICCU logo there. They're one of the official game sponsors this year. So we'll be telling you more about that. And Idaho Central Credit Union, appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. They are our YouTube chat sponsor, also our road trip coverage sponsor. So we appreciate them helping us get to Eugene next weekend for the season opener, whether it's checking accounts, savings accounts, so many great options and benefits that come with that. Cell phone protection. There's some savings on your gas, a lot of great stuff. So you may think you like your banking experience. Make the switch today, I promise you, and you'll enjoy our friends at Idaho Central Credit Union. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com, 13 locations in the state of Idaho, whether it's just regular groceries or whatever you're looking to get there at the grocery store. Ridley's Family Markets has you covered. Great fresh produce, great prices, and the CUNA location is great. 13 locations, like I said, in the state of Idaho. Local ownership, local group that lives right here in the Treasure Valley, supports the local team. So Ridley's Family Markets, check them out online at shopridleys.com. And if you need a new fence, how about Element Fencing? They'll be sponsoring our defensive player of the game come Oregon game next weekend. But 25 years in the fencing business, decks, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, pergolas, they can do it all, folks. You see the craftsmanship on the screen there. 25 plus years in the fencing business, and they can help you out. Again, elementfencing.com. All right, we are going to have Derek Stevens join us here in a little bit. We're going to talk about Circa. I want to get into some of these odds as well and get your guys' take on some of these over-unders, because there's some very intriguing numbers here at Circa. We don't want to take too much of Circa's money, but I think there's some money to be made on some of these, Nathan. But
it is 60 floors here.
It is. Yeah. They're doing okay. Yeah, they are doing okay. Maddox Madsen, QB1. Eric Chenander came out after one of the press conferences the other day and said they've batted down 3 times as many balls as they have done from a defensive line, defensive group. And he was saying it as a positive for the defense. We've batted down 3 times as many balls in fall camp. And of course, people went to, here's Maddox Madsen getting more balls.
Do we know whose passes they've batted down?
We don't. Could have been any of the 4 quarterbacks. Yes. That is a very fair point. But, it's the size and his record against Power 4 schools and all that stuff. Kent, again, I know you're the ultimate, Bronco positive guy here, but tell everyone why, they should be just fine with Maddox Madsen as the starting quarterback this year.
What's Maddox's record as a starter?
Pretty good. I know that. It's pretty good. Has not lost a game that he started and finished against a conference opponent. I do know that part. I don't know the total record.
How are we doing against Notre Dame until he got hurt?
They're hanging around.
I mean, you get so many people evaluate it. Last year, that guy was a freaking warrior to get out there every week. I know he missed 2 games. But
3 maybe, something like that.
4 games.
Yeah.
4 games.
4?
3 full ones.
Yeah, 3 full games, and then got hurt against Fresno in the first quarter.
And that went well when he was out, right? No, did not.
Now they're your love for Maddox. They said Rid has definitely been drinking. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy took us to the playoffs already as the starting quarterback. I mean, hey, we all want it to be like he looks like Peyton Manning out there or something, or John Elway. I mean, yeah, we don't have those guys. Taylon Green was, arguably like the most NFL-looking guy, right? Mm-hmm. And he's in the NFL, and I'm fired up for him. He's doing well. He's awesome. But I think we would all agree accuracy is his issue, right? And everybody gets all fired up on Taylor, like, well, he could throw it. The deep ball's accurate. Well, deep balls don't have to be as accurate because you got time to adjust. So a lot of times when it hits a guy right in stride, it's because the receiver did a good job on deep balls. But the underneath stuff, that's where you got to be accurate, or it leads to picks. and you got to be on time and all that. And that's the stuff I see Maddox do.
And I think the leadership should count for something too.
He runs the team. He runs the offense. I mean, I don't know where everybody. Obviously, we're a little bit spoiled, but his numbers aren't that far off of a lot of the guys that we would consider really good quarterbacks here. Maybe not as many yards, but if you just look at percentages, and I'm sure Nate's into this stuff, he could probably give you a better. But I mean, I think I'll just say this: if Maddox had gone out on the open market, he'd be getting a lot more money from somebody than he's getting at Boise State to be their quarterback. And they'd be fired up, and they'd be talking about, hey, we've got a guy that's won 3 conference championships, took his team to the playoffs. And you can say Ashton Genty's team, all that stuff. I mean, we all know that. Mm-hmm. We all know that. But, I mean, I think about the touchdown that got called back against Penn State. That changes the game, right? That had nothing to do. He hit him right in stride. Do we think about him different if we go on and win that game? Yeah, probably, right?
Oh, no doubt.
But
no doubt.
I mean, I'm not saying that he's the best quarterback in the country or that we've ever had or any of that stuff. I mean, but I think the results speak for themselves. And yeah, is he going to get a pass batted down every now and then? Yeah. So Taylon Green was 6'6", and he got passes batted down. I mean, defenses do that. They teach them that. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, Chin's making a big deal out of that because you know what tip balls lead to? Interceptions. So that's why the defense is focusing on that. But and I give Maddox a ton of credit because I don't know how you could not hear some of this stuff, but he lets it roll off his back and feels good about the work he's putting in and the results he's produced. And I think we should too.
BSU 82 says Ridd is right. Mad Dog, very good general on the field. A football knower guy says Maddox Madsen was hurt all season, played on half of one leg since halftime of the very first game. Is this, I mean, I've been here 13 years and you guys, obviously being an alum here and you've obviously been here, 2+ decades as a coach or whatever and stuff. I mean, what is it? I'm trying to remember, is it like this with every starting quarterback? I mean, was Grant Hedrick getting this kind of hate? Do you love him or hate? Is this Maddox Madsen thing anything new that there's just a group out there that doesn't like him? Or is every Boise State quarterback going back? I mean, were there Brett Rippon haters out there?
There were Brett Rippon haters.
I don't know if they're
I do remember that.
I don't know how there could have been, but I guess
there was a Start Montel Cozart crowd online at one point, which is insane to say because Brett Rippon's the second best quarterback in the program's history. But I've said it before. I think Boise State fans get spoiled because they had Kellen Moore, right? When you have, I mean, wherever you put Kellen in your all-time quarterback rankings, you can make a case he's the greatest of all time, and he's certainly in the top 20 to ever play quarterback at the collegiate level. So when you get that and you get used to that kind of success, a guy like Brett Rippon becomes not good enough. And you look at Brett Rippon's numbers. I mean, he was a top 15 quarterback in the entire country when he was here. So part of it, it's a polarizing position, and Maddox has some polarizing features to him, right? Like, he is a shorter guy. That's going to draw, vitriol from fans. He has not played very well in a lot of Boise State's biggest games. And we can acknowledge that, right? There were 4 interceptions against Notre Dame last year. There were the 2 picks against Washington last year. So it does feel like Maddox is a bit more polarized than other quarterbacks, but Boise State has had this. I mean, the only time I can remember outside of Kellen Moore that every Boise State fan loved their quarterback was Hank Bachmeier after the first game against Florida State. And it lasted one game. By mid-year, people wanted Jalen Henderson to be the full-time starter that year, right? So it's the nature of the quarterback position. It's the nature of a guy like Maddox who has some polarizing performances. But, I'll echo a lot of what Riddle has said. I think a lot of his ability to just run the offense, he knows the plays, he has respect in the locker room. That's all stuff that I think fans downplay, but it matters a lot. Right. If you're an offensive lineman, you want to go to bat for your quarterback, and they love going to bat for Maddox Madsen. Now, with that said, the performances in the big games against Power 4 opponents have been bad. And if they're going to beat Oregon, they need to be better, right? Even 2 years ago with Ashton Genty, I think he completed 49% of his passes against Oregon in that game. You're not going to beat Oregon completing 49% of your passes, right? And this Oregon team is as good, if not better, than that one 2 years ago. So I think there's obviously room for growth. But with that said, I mean, we've been at the practices. He is the best quarterback in the room right now. Will Cash Herrera be better in 2-3 years? Who knows? Maybe. I mean, physically speaking, the kid's he's got an arm, right? He can sling it. But right now, we've been at the practices for 3 straight years since Maddox has been here. He is clearly the best quarterback, and there shouldn't be any debate about who QB1 is. Fans should go into the year. Maddox is our guy. Let's rally around him and support him, and at least to start the year, right? If things go downhill, you can have your criticisms then, but let it be a fresh year. Let it be a new year and get behind Maddox.
Well, again, football's a team sport too, right? I mean, and I get it. I played quarterback. I mean, it that comes with the position. You take the praise, you take the criticism, and it's fine. But I think Maddox actually takes the criticism way better than most.
What were they saying about you back in the day as a quarterback?
Put him in.
Everybody loves
Everybody loves the backup.
Everyone's favorite player is the backup quarterback.
I mean, it's true. It's true, and there's a reason they're the backups, me included.
Yeah. Most of us have Kellenitis. They said it's true. Kip says he hears it, Kent, but he's just a lot more mentally strong than most people.
That's what I'm saying. He absolutely does, and I think that's probably a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and motivates him. That's what the great ones do, right? They take that stuff and they be like, all right, I'll show you. And yeah, I mean, I know I see the top 25 stuff and everything, but is that all Maddox? I mean, are we feeling like that's why we didn't win those games because he didn't play well? I mean, I don't. There's a lot to it. I mean, the O-line got pushed back too far. The receiver couldn't get open. My other favorite one, no separation, right? I'm still waiting for somebody to find separation against zone coverage. So, whenever we get to that
is your go-to. You do like that one. All right, let's go quickly to the defense. Ken, what are you guys' thoughts on the defense? And obviously, Eric Chenander back for another year. They bring in a couple, new coaches. One on the defensive side there, obviously, and Terrence Brown to coach both the corners and the safeties and the nickels, all kind of in one room now. And it seems like the results have been positive there. I know at linebacker, still trying to figure out who that guy is going to be next to Bowen Phelps. Obviously, Logan Brantley, the Kansas transfer. Some other guys are in the mix there, Jake Ripp. And then the defensive line, we found out that David Latu and then Makeo Edward, the Central Washington transfer, is going to be the starter there. Obviously, you have Jaden Virgin Morgan back, and he was named a team captain. And then you also have Max Steege as well and some young guys. But this defense lost some pretty good veteran, leaders and players. When you talk about a Braxton Feely, a Marco Notriani, a Ty Benefield, some of the guys they lost. How you feeling about the defense?
I think it starts with the tackling. The tackling has to get better. Talent-wise, I think this is a really talented group. I think Jane Virgin Morgan's a NFL guy. Like, if he doesn't get drafted, I would be stunned. I think he's got a good chance to get drafted higher than where Ahmed got drafted 2 years ago. So you start with a foundational pass rusher like that. It helps open up a lot of other things for the defense. And then, at all three levels, I think there's guys that look really good and could be stars in their role, right? Bowen Phelps has had a phenomenal fall camp as a linebacker. And that was, it was talking to an NFL scout at one of these practices, and he goes, man, number one, just had about as good of a practice as a linebacker can have, right? So really excited to see what Bowen Phelps can do this year. And I think the back end, you lose all 5 guys who started against USF. I'm not that worried. I think the back end, they've done a really nice job of replenishing and replacing in that room. I think Sherrod Smith and Jaden Mickey are due for massive seasons. But for me, the swing stat is going to be the tackling. You can't be the 135th ranked tackling team in the country and have a lot of success on defense. It's just not going to happen. Leads to the worst run explosive rate allowed of any team in the country. If you can't tackle, you're going to give up big runs. If this team can tackle at even a bad rate, right? If you even get to 90th, massive improvement. I think this has a chance to be a really good defense, but personnel-wise, I think it's a really talented group. And if the tackling is there, I think it could be I think this could be a defense-led team with where the talent is on that defense.
Ken, they obviously spent a lot of time on the tackling in spring ball, fall camp, a lot more live reps. Can you, as a coaching staff, can you tell in practice, okay, it worked, we're a much better tackling team, or is it, okay, let's see what it looks like against Oregon to really know?
Well, I think you feel that way and you want to believe it, but I mean, it's not real until it's real, right? So, but I think sometimes a little bit of that stuff can be misleading. I mean, and I know that for sure the big play and explosive runs, but sometimes, if you've got a guy that like the first guy there is always going to try and take his shot if it's in the backfield or whatever. If he misses that tackle, it's usually not the end of the world because other guys are coming and you're cutting that guy loose to try and do that and throw off the timing of the play. So some of the stats I think are a little bit misleading. I think about how many times that came up. The ones that kill you are when it's like on the edge in the open field and you miss that one and the guy, it's not in traffic. A missed tackle in traffic.
Or it could be a 4-yard gain. It becomes a 24-yard gain or something.
A missed tackle in traffic, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like those don't hurt you as much. And I think that's what Boise State does well, that enabled them to have a good defense last year in spite of the tackling. Maybe not elite defense, but really good because they get more than one guy to the ball. The whole thing is about leveraging the ball, forcing it where you want, and using your help. Where they do have to be better, these guys like, especially on the edge in the secondary, linebackers in space, that sort of thing. So they're working on it. I expect them to be better.
The defense as a whole, you feel pretty good about?
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to be really good on defense. The other thing that, as much as you have the explosive plays that we've given up, how many times do we have negative plays? Whether it's a sack or a tackle for loss in the run game or whatever. I mean, those really kill drives on offense. And I think that's where our defense really excels. I mean, they make a lot of plays in the backfield, whether it's a D-line or they're getting a free guy there or whatever. But that's what has enabled us to do that. So if we continue to do that and then just improve on the tackling, open field tackling's hard.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard in the NFL. It's hard in so the real secret is not to let them get into the open field where you're having to make those one-on-ones. And it's a little bit different. If you're doing it in coverage, that's not as hard because the receiver's got to get turned around. You got time, all that. It's when the guy squares you up and you have that space, that's a nightmare. And you don't win those tackles very often. That's why you got to have help. You got to have extra guys getting to the ball. I mean, I've never seen one of the Boise State defenses not pursue to the football. So that's part of the reason. It's the standard. They coach that. They enforce it. I expect us to improve tackling because everything you focus on, you're going to get better at. So I expect them to improve that, and I think we'll be an elite defense this year.
All right, one final thing on this team, then I want to get into some of these betting odds and odds to win the Pac-12, some over-under, and then here in about 20 minutes, Derek Stevens is going to join us, the owner of this place. Special teams, another position you know very well. Looks like there's some intrigue at the kicker position. Everyone just kind of thought it would be, Colton Boomer again coming back, but Spencer told us that Kanan Moore has been getting the first team blue reps, and he's going to get an opportunity. And he's just talked pretty much all fall camp about the inconsistency at kicker has been obviously something they're trying to improve on. If you're 10 days before the start of the season, now 9, and you're hearing inconsistency and you're hearing multiple guys still getting first team reps, how are you, what's your take on the kicker situation? Because obviously, who knows if it'll be Oregon, but there's going to be a game or two this year that could come down to a kick.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously concerning, and I assume they're addressing it because, saying something about it because they're concerned. But I think the other side of it is you probably have pretty good competition going on. I know Colton over the last couple of years battled some injury stuff, so that might have something to do with it too, and trying to get him healthy. So we'll see. I think the big thing as coaches, you just want to know, all right, where can we get the ball to and know we got 3 points? Outside of that, now in this day and age, you're the big analytics guy. I mean, it says go for it more than kicking anyway. So. But you want to know, like, okay, if it's 4th and 10, I mean, are we just flipping a coin here that we might make a field goal, or do we have an 80, 90% chance? I mean, you're going to miss some. Even the best guys miss one or two. NFL guys miss extra points. I mean, so
well, NFL kickers also make 69-yarders. I saw there.
No
with,
question.
Harrison Butker.
Yeah, those guys are. But you think about that. That's where the NFL guys know, like, hey, if we get the ball to the 40-yard line, we got an 80% chance of 3 points. So that changes your thinking a little bit, right? If you in college football, if you got to get to the inside the 25, well, that's why would we try one just to have a chance, unless it's at the end of the half,
sure,
or a chance to win the game. But that's something they got to do. And again, it wouldn't shock me if they went back and forth a little bit, and maybe one guy's the shorter guy and one guy's the longer guy, something like that.
Any the new long snapper as well. Is that a big deal at all? Or
well, it's always a big deal, but yeah, Coach Hawk used to say the bus waits for nobody except the long snapper. Because you don't have one,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yeah,
but yeah, I not heard that's going to be an issue of any type.
I haven't noticed too many issues.
Most
on the
of those guys, they train so hard at that stuff now that it's really kind of like plug and play. I mean, you'd love to have a guy like Mason Hutton coming back one more time just because you're familiar with him. He's obviously very good. You'd love to have that, but it's not. I don't think that's the end of the world. There's enough guys that since high school, like that's what they do. They're long snappers.
Well, on our Southwest flight coming down yesterday, I don't know if you read the napkin or not, but it said all good ideas start on a napkin. Was their little slogan, and so I've got on my napkin here from Circa. I wrote down didn't have a piece of paper. Wrote down the over-unders, the win totals, the playoff odds for Boise State and some of the Pac-12 teams. And I want to get some best bets here before we get to Derek Stevens. So we'll do that in just a second. But I want to tell you about Piston Pay. If you're a business owner and you pay for the fuel for your employees, I got a new program you need to look into. It's completely cardless, advanced security, better savings. It's an app on your phone. There's a QR code. You can also pay at the pump, but it tracks the gas that your employees purchase for the vehicles, how many gallons, the price, and it's a seamless way to be able to 100% know what the charges are going, not some random charge on a credit card. So 650-739-8327. They set me up with an account, and I bought a tank of gas a couple weeks ago. Very easy to use, phenomenal service. It's available through Jackson's. Again, 650-739-8327. Check them out online at piston.com. Our friends at Sun Cruiser, they'll be flowing the next couple of days. They got a big sponsorship, or a big partnership, I guess I should say, with Circa, and they actually Circa helped us get Sun Cruiser on board. And so this is where I first had it here. But Sun Cruiser, whether it's the iced tea lemonades, the iced tea vodkas, check them out. Sun Cruiser, appreciate them. A great this weekend, getting ready for football season. Sun Cruiser is a perfect beverage, so get out there and check out our friends at Sun Cruiser. If you're looking for a new roof, Signature Roofing, online at mysignatureroofing.com, covering our community for more than 2 decades, one roof at a time. Signature Roofing, whether it's a completely new roof, a repair to your roof, an inspection, an estimate, all your roofing needs, make sure you hit up our friends at Signature Roofing. And guys, it's going on right now, the 72-hour sale over at Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. You see Matt Wagner there. We talked about him earlier, whether it's Matt Wagner, Roger Carrion, Jeremiah Dickey, Spencer Danielson, probably Kent Riddle back in the day, but
Ben Ford, I believe.
Ben Ford as well, and that's the one that makes too much sense. That should have happened from day one. Ben Ford, Lithia Ford of Boise, they're taking care of your favorite coaches and administrators and athletes, so return the favor, the best prices of the year. That 72-hour sale going on right now at Lithia Ford of Boise, new or pre-owned vehicles. Get on out to our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise. Don't forget, we got our 60% off sale going on at Bronco Nation News as well. If you're liking some of the numbers and analysis you're hearing from Nathan, obviously Chris is holding down the fort, covering practice for us, interviews, practice reports, everything. We'll be on the road with the team at Oregon next week, at home. So you want comprehensive Boise State coverage in the recruiting angle. We'll brag about ourselves. I think our recruiting coverage is better than anybody out there with our association with 24/7 Sports and being able to have all those rankings and databases. And Chris does a tremendous job on the recruiting side. So it's less than $5 a month right now, $4.67. Jump on board, BroncoNationNews.com. Click that join VIP button in the upper right-hand corner. We'd love to have you join us. But at a minimum, give us a like here on YouTube. Give us a subscription here on YouTube. And obviously support all the sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch here on YouTube. All right, I've got my handy dandy note, my handy dandy napkin here. We got about 15 minutes till Derek Stevens joins us, the owner at Circa. So I want to go through some of these numbers here. And we were discussing this a little earlier before you came on, Rid, but Boise State's over-under for wins this year. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but do you have any, just before I give you the number, any quick thought of what out of a 12-game schedule, what do you think the Vegas number is for Boise State win total? Over-under.
I'm going to guess it's 9.5.
Okay. Which shows you why this is kind of absurd here. But now you do have to give up minus 180 on the juice. So you do have to give up a lot to do this. But they've got Boise State at 7.5 for the win total here at Circa. Now we had to check.
That's why I laughed.
We had to check because we weren't. I was thinking maybe that didn't include the flex game. Some of these over-unders do not include that last 12th game. But we checked it, and it says on the tab, it says flex game included. So it is minus 180. So you have to put up $180 to win 100. So obviously they're I guess not quite wanting to go to 8 or 8.5 at better odds. So you would have to lay a pretty hefty price, minus 180. You do get plus 155. So you only bet 100 to get 155 back if you think under. So in terms of the betting value, but 7.5 wins with this schedule. I mean, I know the Notre Dame's going to be tough, but I don't know if there's 3 other games.
We're playing Notre Dame?
Sorry,
no,
Oregon. Yeah. That would make it tough. The Notre Dame game would be tough. Yes. You both looked at each other. I was like, what did I say? Yes. The Oregon game is certainly going to be tough. But with that said, I mean, there'd be whether it's at Fresno State's going to be a tricky one, maybe at Washington State's kind of a tricky one, but like they would have to lose all 4 of the quote-unquote losable games on their schedule. I think, again, I know you got to lay minus 180, but 7.5 seems like a really low number for Boise State.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. That's look, even at minus 180, so to translate that, you need Boise State to win 65% of the time, 8 or more games to be profitable on that. That's what that minus 180 means. My model gives them an 85% chance at going over 7.5. And I think if you're going under, it's probably because Maddox is getting hurt and there's issues on the defensive tackling again. I think there's a good chance this team is better than last year's team from a power rating standpoint, if for no other reason than you don't have Max cut forth those first 2 games where he looks like a fish out of water against Fresno and San Diego State. Like, I know I'm an alumni, but when it comes to the numbers are the numbers. I try to be as objective as I can. Like, over 7.5 is a complete no-brainer to me. Like, I'll be going downstairs, and I don't bet on Boise State. It's not my go-to, but I'll be laying something on over 7.5 because that's to me way too low. I
don't bet on Boise State. I'm going to lay it.
I'm going to to me, it should be closer to 8.5.
Yeah.
Like,
that's when we saw it. We said, well, it's got to be the flex game thing.
Right.
And then we saw it was included in there, and it's like, oh, wow. So let us know in the chat what you guys think. 7.5 wins. I mean, wouldn't 8-4 seem like kind of a disappointing season?
Yeah,
with this team, Rid? I mean, 8-4, wouldn't that be a disappointing season? I know from a coach's perspective, 8-4 conference championship, but I mean, if this team loses 4 games, to me, it would just feel like a down season.
And you're hitting the bet.
Yeah, you're winning the bet
on
8-4. I think 9-3 for me is like the floor for this season. I mean, obviously you got to beat Memphis. You got to come back in week 2 and beat Memphis. But like I said, I see 1 or 2 kind of tricky games. I know Texas State, a lot of people are high on, but that game is at home this year. San Diego State as well. Some people are high on. They're at home as well. By the way, San Diego State, they're also 7.5 on their win total, but they are plus 120 on the over and minus 140. But 7.5, those are the only 2 teams with the highest win totals in the conference. Boise State, San Diego State. Fresno State is at 6.5. Texas State also at 6.5 as well. And then you get down to Utah State, 4.5. Washington State, 4.5. And then bringing up the rear, both Colorado State and Oregon State, 3.5 wins. Any of those numbers stand out to either of you guys?
Yeah, I think those numbers all make sense. And a lot of it comes down to schedule. You look at a team like Texas State, they get Texas in non-con, they get UTSA in non-con, they get North Texas. And that's 3 pretty tough non-conference games for Texas State. My favorite amongst those would probably be Fresno State over 6.5. I think Matt Entz is a really, really good coach. I think that he does a very good job. I think he's got Fresno State going the right direction. I like some of the transfers that they've brought in. They've got some younger freshmen and sophomores who should contribute a little bit more this year. I think Fresno State, to me, is going to be one of the top 2 teams in the Pac-12 this year. That's my expectation. So other than Boise State at 7.5, again, I'm stunned. Well, and this is why I've talked about it before. Shop your lines, because there are books out there that have Boise State as an 8 or an 8.5. So if you can get them at 7.5 minus 180, like to me, that's the absolute best bet on the board. But I like Fresno 6.5. That's
Scott says Hard Rock has 7.5, but only for the first 11 games, and that's minus 155. So we'll see what kind of pull we have. By the way, by the time we get down there, they may have already realized the flex game shouldn't have been included or not. But okay, so you put those win totals, Kent, with the Pac-12 championship odds. Boise State plus 133 is the favorite to win the Pac-12 here. You have San Diego State at plus 370, Fresno State at plus 600, Texas State plus 675, and then you get to Washington State plus 1100, Utah State 1450, Oregon State is plus 3,500, and then Colorado State bringing up the rear at 4,500. But plus 133 for Boise State, plus 370 for San Diego State. Obviously, I think I saw they're one of the biggest. They were at one point the biggest favorite of any 10 conferences to win there. Now I believe Texas Tech has moved in front as a favorite, a smaller favorite, and there was one other one as
Miami.
well. Miami to win the ACC. But Boise State, I mean, not a huge surprise, but pretty heavy favorites to win the Pac-12.
Yeah, and I mean, won 3 in a row, right? So somebody's got to beat the champ to be the champ. And, I think we'll just continue to see it. I mean, we've talked about all the stuff that make this team appealing, right? You've got physical fronts on both sides of the ball. You've got a strong running game. You've got good rush defense. Negative plays traditionally, or the last few years, we've been at the tops in sacks. You've got an elite pass rusher.
A track record with Spencer, I would say.
Yeah,
starting to build a little bit. 3 conference championships in 3 years.
So, I mean, should they be the favorite? Yeah, absolutely. But that also means you can get everybody's best shot. So, but we got a few things. We get some payback for Fresno and San Diego State.
Boise State has not won in Fresno in 11 years.
Wow.
Now they haven't gone there obviously every year, but yeah, have not won in Fresno in 11 years. In Fresno.
So on the road in Fresno.
We won in 20 or 21.
I don't think so.
In Fresno?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to look it up. Let's look it up. I don't know if that's
Andy's first year.
We'll have to double check that. I'll say this about the Pac-12 title odds. I mean, if we want to get a little bit nerdy with it, which is my specialty, that flex game does not count towards the conference standings and who makes the conference championship. So what you get with the conference standings is 4 teams are going to get 4 home games and 3 road games that actually count towards making the conference championship. Boise State is one of those teams. So even if they, in that flex week, they've got to go to Utah State, that doesn't count for conference championship standing. So I think there's even more.
Shocker, the guy that actually coached in the game knows what he's talking about.
2021.
It was a 40-14 game in 2021. So I got to see where I found that note. But
the guy that actually coached in the game knew that, but the guy that actually coaches in the game is just a homer when it comes to Maddox Madsen. I can't believe these guys are still going on about this.
Are they still talking about Maddox in the chat?
That's the daily occurrence. We don't even bring up Maddox, and the chat is always about him. But sorry, I cut you off.
No, yeah, just I mean, I'm glad we were able to get that all corrected. But so if you want to play the conference title odds, whatever team you're playing, look at the teams that have 4 home games in the Pac-12 play, not including the flex game, because there's going to be extra value on those teams.
I'm going to throw this out too. The Mountain West. I know some people are moving on, don't really care. Some people I think are still intrigued to at least. We're here in Las Vegas, obviously. Who do you think's the betting favorite to win the Mountain West this year, Rid?
UNLV, I would assume.
Yeah, it's UNLV, right?
Here at Circa, it's New Mexico.
Oh, interesting.
New Mexico is plus 290. UNLV is slightly behind at plus 350. North Dakota State plus 400. Hawaii plus 450. Air Force plus 500. And then you have Nevada, Wyoming, San Jose, Northern Illinois, UTEP way behind. But New Mexico, the slight favorite to win the Mountain West.
Coach X done a hell of a job.
Well, they said that Alex Orji is going to play week 1, and the odds plummeted. It was, Alex Orji's going to go? Okay. New Mexico's the favorite. We trust Jason Eck.
But ironically enough, you look at to make the CFP odds. This is just a yes or no. Will this team make the college football playoff? Boise State is the group of 6 favorite here at Circa, plus 385, Ken. If you think Boise State can make the playoff, $100 bet wins you your $100 back plus a profit of $385. Boise State plus 385 to make the playoff. even though New Mexico, and maybe I missed them, but even though they're listed as the favorite to win the conference, it's actually UNLV and North Dakota State who are plus 1,200 as the next team to make the playoffs. Then you have South Florida and James Madison at plus 1,400. But at least in terms of the betting odds, Boise State, the heavy favorite to get back to the CFP.
Yeah, and again, I mean, we were right there every year, right? We've been there in the mix even last year in a down year right to the end. So, yeah, I would feel good about putting $100 on that and thinking you're going to get a payback. I won't do it because that'll somehow screw Boise State if I do it. But no, and I think that.
Yeah.
I think we probably are the best group of 6 team out there.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the hindrance for Boise State to me is just the schedule. I mean, this is probably the toughest schedule in the history of the program when you combine the fact that you get not only Oregon and non-con, but Memphis and Western Michigan. Western Michigan won the MAC last year.
Exactly.
That's a conference champion on the road. And then you now get this Pac-12 schedule where all of a sudden the math starts to look a little bit different when you don't have a San Jose or, the old New Mexico where it's you go in as a 30-point favorite. And I mean, you should be able to sleepwalk
Wyoming,
to a win,
some
right?
of these teams at San Jose State. Yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, there was some more. You definitely see it on the basketball side this year as well.
Yes.
Those gimme games at the bottom of the 2 or 3, you could just count in. You show up, you're going to win. They're not there, Rid.
No.
And this can be a real competitive conference. And ironically, I think the Mountain West will now be more competitive too. So I think as much as I would have loved to see everybody come together and make it one conference, I think you're going to get 2 conferences that are going to be really competitive.
Well, and I brought this up before, but do you know how many teams that are in the new Mountain West have a non-COVID conference championship in the Mountain West?
San Jose State obviously got
San Jose got the COVID year, so I'm taking out the COVID year because I mean you played 5 games.
I'm going to say 0.
If whoever wins the conference this year, it'll be the first Mountain West championship for whatever program it is, whether it's UNLV, New Mexico. So
I think, when you guys were reading that off, BJ, when you were reading off the over/under for teams or the odds or whatever, I mean, I think UTEP, is a complete long shot, but the rest of those teams are historically.
Are you
not bad.
Well, how do you think North Dakota State's gonna fit in?
They'll have no problem. I mean, they were built to play like this already. I don't know if they'll win it, but they're not going to be outclassed because they're coming up from 1AA. And I think we've seen that over the last few years where these teams come up. James Madison came up, Kennesaw State, maybe.
Yep. Kennesaw State won their league last year.
You find out like there's not that much difference. Now, if those guys jumped into the SEC or the Big Ten,
right?
Yeah. But North Dakota State's competed with the middle of the Big Ten teams for quite a while. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I just think because of travel and some other things that they need to get used to, maybe not this year, maybe next. But they'll be competing for it this year.
Yeah. My main concern with North Dakota State is the depth, because in the FCS you have smaller rosters, right? So you go from, I think their roster size at the FCS, you might know 70, 75, somewhere in there, whereas now you're at 105 in the FBS. So now, essentially in one summer, you've got to not only replace everyone you've lost, you've got to find 20 new bodies to fill out the rest of your roster. So I think North Dakota State, I think they go 7-8 wins. I think it's definitely on the table. I think they'll compete for a Mountain West championship. Going back to the betting side of it, I like Air Force from a value perspective. Liam Zarka, quietly the best quarterback in the Mountain West. When he played last year, Air Force was averaging 36 points per game. The defense was atrocious for Air Force last year, but I think Troy Calhoun's a really good coach. They brought in a new defensive coordinator. So from a value perspective, if you can find Air Force plus 500, plus 600, somewhere in that ballpark, that's my favorite bet for what's in the Mountain West.
I'm looking over my shoulder because we should be getting Derek Stevens here momentarily, the owner of Circa. By the way, you mentioned FCS. Guys, we got 23 FCS games tonight. College football starts tonight, and I'm sure they'll have some odds on some of those here. I know you can't. here at Circa. So maybe we'll 23 FCS games on the docket for tonight to officially start week 0 of the college football season. And are you intrigued, either of you? I'm going to let you talk for a second while I go look for Derek. But the UNLV Memphis game on Saturday, I heard ESPN Las Vegas over here earlier talking about that game, kind of a de facto, playoff, CFP playoff game for those two teams. Obviously, it's game one, but a massive game for Memphis and UNLV. And if you're a Boise State fan, you have the history with UNLV, and then you want to see what Memphis looks like. So prime time on Saturday, that's going to be an intriguing game right here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And if you're a Boise State fan, obviously you want Memphis to win because you've got them on the schedule, so you want it to look like a better win. Memphis recently announced that West Florida transfer Will Stokes is going to be the starting quarterback, which is, I think, great news for them because they brought in former 5-star Aaron Noland. It's kind of a Boise State 2024 situation. You bring in the former 5-star and he loses the job to the more unheralded guy. I think Memphis, really good football team. Charles Huff, which did you ever get around Charles Huff in your coaching days?
Coached against
him.
Yeah.
So I think Charles Huff's a really good coach. Had a lot of success at Marshall. And
we do have Derek
Miss.
Stevens coming, so I'm going to cut you off. But we're back with Derek Stevens in 30 seconds.
Hey, Bronco Nation. This is Matt Wagner with Boise State football. In football, opportunities can open up, but only for a moment, and the best players know when to step up and step in. At Lithia Ford of Boise, our 72-hour sales event is going on now. Works the same way. This Thursday through Sunday only. Take advantage of limited time pricing, strong trade-in values, and competitive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles that are ready to meet real-world needs. Bronco Nation, this is your opportunity to step up and step into Lithia Ford of Boise and make the most of it this Thursday through Sunday night. Don't wait. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
All right, Derek Stevens, nice enough to join us here. Bronco Nation News. We're down here for another year for the contest. Excited to be here. We pushed Nathan off this segment. Can't slide in a little more so we can get you on here. But Derek, Mike's right here. Appreciate you. Everybody in Boise loves getting to chat with Derek Stevens. How we doing, sir?
BJ, great to see you. Great to have Bronco News Nation in the house here. This has really turned into something, isn't it? This trip to Vegas for contest sign-up weekend.
Heck yeah.
7 years ago, I never really dreamed it would turn into something like this. Now you got all the Radio Row here, and man, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I think our partnership, we had met before, but our true actual partnership started when you were like a week away from the sign-up contest for year one, I believe, and you were trying to get more people in there, and you were going through your phone, seeing who you had in there, and you sent me a text. Have you signed up for the contest yet? And one thing led to another, and I stopped off on the way to a Boise State game at New Mexico the next night or something and signed up like the day of the first NFL game, and one thing led to another, and now you go from, begging people to get in to now being $20+ million. I mean, it is pretty crazy how this thing has grown.
It is amazing. Somebody just asked me about half hour ago about, did you ever envision to become this big? I go, no. I mean, I made one of the biggest bets of my life was when we first started Circa Survivor, and I bet $1 million that we would hit it, and we did. And then it was $1.5 million. Then it was $3 million. Then it was $5 million. I never dreamed we could have guaranteed $15 million last year, and we blew through that. So this year guaranteeing 20. It's amazing. Just amazing. So I'm humbled, and I love this weekend because so many people come into town. I get to see. It's a lot of fun, and it kind of kicks off football season.
And you're going to push how are we projecting here? It looks like you're going to push well past the 20, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, in Circa Survivor, we should push well past the 20 million. If we go over the 20 million, because there's no rake, all the money goes back in the pot. So it's just going to keep growing the pot even bigger. So that's terrific.
Well, part of the reason it's growing is because you guys make everybody feel so welcome here, and it's such a great place. Just the facility. I mean, everything about this place is awesome. It starts with the people and the leadership, and that's why people want to get involved. Aside from winning money.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of a good thing. I've really enjoyed what's come about. This pilgrimage to Las Vegas before football season. This is the time when hope springs eternal, both in football contests as well as your team you're rooting for.
Yeah.
There's always something new. Something new for you. You got a new conference here, BJ.
We do. We were going over Pac-12 odds. We're actually looking at Mountain West odds as well, and it is I still think long term UNLV and Boise State could end up in the same conference. I think it makes too much sense for UNLV. I wish they'd come to the Pac-12 the first time. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but UNLV in the Mountain West, one of the favorites this year, and we were talking about them. They got a big game against Memphis on Saturday, and then Memphis goes to Boise right after that in a week or two. That's a big one. Boise State has Oregon in their season opener next week, so that could be a tough one. But what is the talk down here about the conference realignment and then the new look Mountain West and the Pac-12? And I know that the Mountain West is moving their offices down, or already did maybe move some of their offices down here, and just your take on how this is all kind of shaken out in relation to UNLV and Vegas in general.
Well, I think there was quite a bit of uncertainty until a couple weeks ago. Now it's kind of been determined what these buyout numbers are going to be. So I think now the path is kind of laid out there. It also seems that in college football, there's a premium to be put on these larger conferences. So I think we're going to see a bit more of a shakeout, and then things are going to finalize. You know, I saw there's probably about 7 open spots for universities to get into a couple of bigger conferences, and I think you're going to see those get filled. I guess there's 8, but Notre Dame gets one of them, so kind of move from there. And I think it's good for college football. These bigger conferences are terrific. I can understand. I mean, big money in Big Ten, big money in SEC, big money in I'm a big fan of a West Coast, you know, whether it's Pac-12 Mountain with some combination of that's a big component of this. So no, I think it's all going to continue to shake out here and go from there. What
do you make of the Vegas Bowl? I saw an article recently that the Las Vegas Bowl, the attendance was down a little bit, and our man Nathan over here cracks all the numbers. He was saying, well, if the average attendance was actually higher when you had a Mountain West team like a Boise State that would come down here, and I know the date change going around New Year's right impacted that as well. But what do you make of the? I mean, I've always said I thought there could be 2 or 3 bowl games here in Las Vegas. Everybody wants to come here, but just the future of the Vegas Bowl and the conferences they're aligned with. I know you're not directly involved in that, but just kind of looking at it from afar as a sports fan and knowing some of the people like John Cicenti and stuff that are involved in that. What's your take on the bowl situation here?
Well, I think I would maybe answer that in a manner that is less Las Vegas and more on an overall. It's become very apparent that bowl games that are in the playoffs are what matters. And then if you have a bowl game that's not a playoff game, well, you're going to struggle. You're going to have players opting out. You're going to have, you know, so I think the whole bowl concept, if you don't make the playoffs, it's a big problem. So obviously you're going to continue to expand the playoffs. I view that being the next step for Las Vegas, where Las Vegas gets, let's say, a quarterfinal bowl game, and Las Vegas would be one of the playoff bowl games. That's kind of how I see this thing playing out. I also think that what John Cicenti's done is great in a different manner. The Las Vegas Convention Visitor Authority has approved funding for multiple years of these preseason non-conference games, and that's obviously a big draw in Vegas. So having these early season non-conference games, that draws a lot of people. Having a team come on December 28th with 25 players opting out. Sure. And even like Utah last year, coach landed at the airport. He never left the airport. He went right to Michigan. So, you know, that type of thing not going to last too long.
That is true. And, you know, you brought up something interesting. I think there might be a lean. We did it a few years back, but to move in the big games to the start of the year that are non-playoff type stuff. And whether you call it a bowl game or whatever you want to call it, but I could see where that becomes a much bigger thing, because that's really your introduction to the team anyway. If you're not in the playoffs, your team's shattered. You know, the season's over. It's not so much a reward anymore because half the guys are opting out or going to the draft, or you know,
it used to be the only time they could get their $500 in free gifts or whatever too, and now they're that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I mean, certainly from a Las Vegas perspective, the shift is going to be more towards earlier in the season. And then having a bowl game that's a playoff game.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the future.
Having played in the Vegas Bowl a couple times, I mean, they do a phenomenal job here, and everybody has a great time. So
did you do the helicopter? The coaches got to do the helicopter ride. You got to do that the night before the game.
Absolutely,
that's cool.
No, hey, can I ask you guys a question?
Let's do it. Yes,
I'm not a professional like you guys, but let me ask you a question about How many Circa Million are you going to get into, BJ?
Well, I'm already in for one Survivor, and I'm going to get in for a couple more. The Millions, I'm not in. I've done a Millions every year. I just have had terrible luck with it, but I'll probably get in one again. I like the fact that it goes all the way through the season. Even if you're having a terrible first 3 quarters, you can still win the fourth quarter there and make your $100,000 or whatever it is at the end.
Got a handful of people
We
that
do.
are followers.
I'm sure we do.
Want to partner with you.
We've got plenty. We're signing people up while we're down here. Speaking of people watching, Melinda says got our reservation for Barry's tomorrow night. We love Circa. Derek, thanks for all you do. We got a good crew. I'd say we're going to have 15 plus entries of people from Boise coming down to sign up. We got 7. I kept adding to the reservation. Our reservation at Barry's tomorrow is like 18, I think. But
awesome.
we got folks flying in today, flying in tomorrow morning. We got all kinds of folks coming down to sign up. I think what are we 6 or 6:30? I think we got to get up for the little what's the party up at Legacy Club tomorrow night as well with the fireworks. We got to get up. We got to get up for that as well. But they had their team name last year for their Survivor entry was hoping to make it to week 2 because
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, it was us. We made it this year. The year before, not so much.
We were talking about the carnage. I was still alive on Thanksgiving. I was one of the ones on Thanksgiving last year that was still alive and actually had my setup. I was set up pretty nicely. Had the Ravens and picked them early. Was feeling pretty good. You had the first two upsets, and you get to Thanksgiving night, and I got my whole wife's family there. Thanksgiving dinner, I'm trying to watch this game, and then they end up losing. But you went from you count the Black Friday game, you went from 800 or 900 down to like 50 or something, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, think about what happened. Everybody that had it planned out nicely, you had all 4 Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday favorites lose outright. Unbelievable.
So people that were stuck and had nobody left end up coming through looking like a rose there.
I would say it was the combination of who made it through Thanksgiving. It was people that focused on game theory that might have had 10 entries left.
Oh, really?
And they took 9 on a favorite, but they thought everybody's going to take it. Let's protect one the other way, just in case. So a little game theory people, or it was just simply people that screwed up and had no favorites left, which there were quite a few of that.
That's what I think it was.
So that's what happened. But how could you ever, in my betting career, I could never remember all 4 Thanksgiving underdogs win outright, not just cover, win outright.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The Grandissimo, you guys are a couple years into that now. Kent's thinking about entering that this year, but Boise State assistant coach. I'm sure you can. That was a couple years of salary there. You're good, but that's got 31 entries already. How has that kind of grown to? Is that already more interest and bigger than you thought it would be?
Yeah, it's way bigger. I mean, last year, like I said, 15 people is what I hoped to cover. We ended up with 69. I think we're pacing at a great pace right now. What I love about Circa Grandissimo is that you could have someone that enters Circa Grandissimo. Most of them that enter Circa Grandissimo also enter Survivor. And I find it really interesting to watch what they play in their Circa Grandissimo entry versus what they play in Survivor because the strategy is clearly different. The value of saving a Christmas team in Circa Survivor is very important. The value of saving a Christmas team for Circa Grandissimo, it's worth close to 0.
And you got 69 people in there.
Because you're not going to make it there. So you may have like a week 2 or week 3 game where if you're in Circa Grandissimo, you're going to shoot somebody that might be playing on Christmas. Where in Circa Survivor, you're going to save them. So I think watching this strategy develop is kind of fascinating.
Well, our proxy's Tom Carroll. Great dude. Love Tom. We've been having him on the show weekly to talk about coming down here for the last month or so. Was down there and saw him when I came for the Bet Bash a week or 2 ago and got signed up for that first Survivor. And so Tom Carroll's our guy. We're telling everybody to go through him. Everyone's signing up through Tom. But what's the final push here for folks watching this? Got to sign up in Nevada, but you can play from anywhere and use Tom and get you signed up. And he's got a new portal. He was showing me a new website this year that's going to make it easier to submit the picks and all that. And I know that's a big thing for you guys is the out-of-staters that use the proxies and sign up.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing that's great about these contests is you just got to show up in Vegas, go to one of our properties. The proxies will put your picks in so you can play from anywhere. This year again we'll have contestants from all 50 states. Wow. I think we'll have contestants from probably 12 or 13 different countries.
Wow.
And we're going to set some all-time records. So opportunity for people to be involved in the largest legal legal is the key thing is the money is safe here. It's regulated. It's the money's here. It's safe and legal. Football contests ever assembled.
Well, we got someone saying we're on our way, bringing 3 new entrants. So I told you the whole crew. Boise's bringing you a crew. We talk about it. A final question for you. I mean, you brought the jet up to Boise. I know you had a great time, but we've always loved the relationship there. And I know Boise State, like you said, maybe not in the same conference, but there's 7 or 8 nonstop flights a day from Boise that still come down to Vegas, and we hopefully folks still know where their spot is from Boise when they come down here. I know you guys have enjoyed your trip to Boise and having that relationship.
Hey, we loved getting on the blue. We had a great time. Now we're all kind of interestingly we got to see Ashton Genty play on the blue, and now he's a hometown favorite here. So there's a lot of Boise connections here. Hey, I appreciate bringing some new entrants. Hopefully I get to meet them tomorrow when they're on their way, and I'll see some of your people from the dinner and
we got a big crew tonight. They're coming to the cocktail hour as well. So Derek, appreciate your time. I know you got other interviews you got to get to, but appreciate it as always. And we'll be seeing you all weekend. And best of luck. And hope you guys get well over all the minimums here. And it's another great contest, another great year.
Thank you. All right.
Appreciate it.
Fellas.
Appreciate Derek Stevens. We're back in 30 seconds on Bronco Nation News.
Hey, Bronco Nation. This is Matt Wagner with Boise State football. In football, opportunities can open up, but only for a moment, and the best players know when to step up and step in. At Lithia Ford of Boise, our 72-hour sales event is going on now. Works the same way. This Thursday through Sunday only. Take advantage of limited time pricing, strong trade-in values, and competitive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles that are ready to meet real-world needs. Bronco Nation, this is your opportunity to step up and step into Lithia Ford of Boise and make the most of it this Thursday through Sunday night. Don't wait. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Austin. We're back. I don't know how long we were back there for, but we're back.
Just 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Austin
there.
Eckler standing behind us.
Yeah. I was wondering who that. He looked so familiar, and I couldn't put my name on it. That's
what team's he playing for now? Is he on the Raiders?
I thought he might have retired. But
Did
he's
he
been
retire?
in the Commanders.
Okay.
So still in Washington. So my worst fantasy football moment ever was Austin Eckler. Buddy of mine
Don't
took
say
him
it too loud.
And no, it's because buddy of
Slide in
mine
a little,
league took him like number 2 overall, and I was like, what are you doing taking him number 2 overall? I don't even think his mom would take him number 2 overall, and then he was the number 1 player in fantasy that year. So that's my egg on my face, Austin Eckler story.
Wow. Well, we just heard from Derek Stevens. Appreciate him coming on, and it is crazy when you guys think about the growth of this contest. And it's $1,000 per entry, but you can get some buddies together and team up on it. And the Survivor contest is traditional Survivor, the Millions contest as well. And you get a fun day watching college football on Saturday, and it is fun on Sunday waking up and hopefully for more than a week or two having a little skin in the game, dreaming big.
Yeah. It is fun just to kind of look at the season in advance and figure some stuff out. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean much. I mean, it's about like buying an expensive lottery ticket. You either win or you don't. There's so many things that are tough to predict. Like
I was wondering week 1 if it's the odds are staring us here in the face for week 1. Have you guys thought at all about?
I would just assume a lot of people are going to go Chargers.
Yeah, because they're 10-point favorites against the Cardinals, biggest favorite on the board. I mean that.
You don't really want to burn the Lions, so what about the Jaguars?
Jaguars would be
Jaguars against the Browns.
But you're really betting that the Browns stink, right?
Right.
Because the Jaguars are. I mean, they're going to.
They won 12 games last year.
I would say they're going to win 10 or 11 again.
I bet that the Patriots were going to stink either last year or the year before, and they won. they won week 1 at Cincinnati, and I was done in week 1.
Yes, so was I.
That led to the hoping to make it to week 2 name the next year.
Yes.
My big thing is stay away from the teams you think are going to stink but have new coaches, right? Because how many times? I mean, we saw it last year. Patriots 2 years ago go 3-14. All of a sudden, you get Mike Vrabel in, and they're going to the Super Bowl, right? So you look at some of these teams like the Raiders, right? Weren't very good last year, get the number 1 overall pick, but now you've got a new head coach, new culture. Those are the teams that I want to stay away from. So the Jets are one that maybe not week 1 against the Titans, but I think I'll be picking against the Jets a lot this year.
Well,
I think that is on.
And I'm just looking up here, but the Rams, Niners, two competitive teams, but that's in Australia. Like that's probably not.
Well, you don't want to waste either of those two teams probably in week 1 either. Yeah.
Yeah, but with the fact that it's in Australia, like anything could happen.
Are the Jets supposed to be bad this year?
Yes.
And the Titans are supposed to be bad also, right? Is that one where you can maybe sneak by with the Titans at home?
2.5 point spread.
Can you sneak by with it? Are you risky enough to take the Titans in week 1?
I'm bullish on the Titans. I think Cam Ward's a good quarterback. I think Robert Saleh is a good head coach, and they get rid of Brian Callahan, who was let's just say not good, going I think 3-20 in his career.
Saleh's a good head coach because everybody couldn't wait to fire him when he was with the Jets.
Yeah,
he wasn't a good.
And then look what happened.
Now he is. So
I defended Saleh with the Jets. I was like, I think a lot of their issues there are more Aaron Rodgers related than Robert Saleh related. So it's an interesting week 1. Eagles Commanders is one I'd take a long look at. I feel like we know about both those teams pretty well. But yeah, it's a tough week 1 because you're right. The teams that are big favorites are teams you probably don't want to. But at the same time, if you go out and take Titans week 1 and they lose to the Jets,
you're going to say I should have taken.
You're going to say I should have taken
the Chargers.
10-point favorite.
Yeah, when the Chargers win 35-7 or whatever.
Game 1, so little about these.
Just survive in advance.
Yeah, I'm shocked. The Chiefs are favored over the Broncos. I mean that's
the Chiefs and the Patrick Mahomes at home, Arrowhead, Monday night.
And you know what? If I put money on the Broncos, the Chiefs will win. But
then please do. Let me know, and I'll go the other way. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, everything we know about these teams, we're basing off of past experience. And I mean, you can look at somebody's going to have a breakout year in the NFL, team wise and player wise. And I don't know who it is. I mean, you can make guesses. Somebody's going to be a really good player and have a crappy year, maybe because they got hurt. Or, I mean, you brought up the Aaron Rodgers thing with the Jets. I mean, he got first play of the year or whatever.
Right. First game, first play, or fourth play or whatever it was.
You think it's Aaron Rodgers here, and then all of a sudden he's out.
Right.
And now you're like, I got no chance.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this from a value proposition standpoint. This is also when the odds makers, the guys who are setting these lines, they know the least as well. So a lot of the professional gamblers you'll talk to early in the season is where they make most of their money. Because by the time you get to week 16, all these teams, and Vegas is able to put a line out there on most of these games that's within a couple of points. So I say, do the research, find the teams that you think that are being undervalued, and a lot of times it's coaching changes or bringing in key players or guys making a leap that you can find a little bit of value on and try to ride that team. But I've got to figure out my Circa strategy. I'll tell you what. The Millions, if you finish dead last with the worst record, you get $100,000.
Yeah, the booby prize, last place.
So I might have to go into the Circa Million.
There was one time where we were closer to that than the first place, so we did turn and rechange our strategy, and then we went 5-0 the next week or whatever. Trying to get them wrong, and we go 5-0. Just it's how it goes.
They call it gambling.
Yeah.
And again, this place has 60 floors and really nice marble.
The second casino and. How do they pay for all that? Exactly. I wonder. Yeah.
Well, $30 million in guaranteed prizes on the line here at Circa. If you cannot make it down, reach out to us. We can try to help sign you up. I know we got a huge crew coming down today and tomorrow, so safe travels to everybody that is coming down. Looking forward to the happy hour event tonight. Maybe getting out to the pool this afternoon. There's a pool party tomorrow, reception tomorrow night as well. Fireworks tomorrow night up on the 60th floor at Legacy Club. So, guys, a fun day one. It's been a fun day, and it was a great show. And appreciate Derek Stevens and appreciate everybody at Circa for having us out here. And like you said, I mean, from the janitor all the way up to the owner, they do it right here, and everything is first class.
How many chances is the owner going to come sit down and talk to you? And,
yeah.
I mean,
great people here.
Yeah,
really great
it's a lot of fun. It's a cool contest, and we appreciate our partnership. Obviously, they're a big sponsor of ours throughout the year. So make Circa Las Vegas. If you've never been down here, you're missing out, folks. Get down here for your next trip to Las Vegas. If you're a sports fan, I mean, it's a must to sit out. I mean, an NFL Sunday or a college football Saturday, which we're going to experience a little bit on Saturday with a couple games, Rid, but you get a full slate of games on Saturday or a Sunday. There's nothing better than watching the games out there and having fun. And I can't tell you back in the day how many times I'd go to a pool with my wife, Flamingo or some other casino place, and you want to watch the game. and they want to go to the pool, and then you go to the pool, but then there's music going, and you can't watch the game, and then now they've got both. They have the DJ, and if you're not a sports fan, you can hang out, and all the games are on. It's a pretty phenomenal. I mean, whether from Barry's Steakhouse to the sports book to as you mentioned, Stadium Swim, all the way up to Legacy Club on the 60th floor. I mean, you were joking last time you were here, you never left Circa, and I said, well, that's what they want.
Yeah.
you don't have to.
There's no reason to leave.
You don't have to here. They have it all, and obviously Fremont Street's fun. People watching as well. So, Rid, fun day one. Any final thoughts, Boise State related, Vegas related, before we wrap this up?
No, just thank you for them doing it here, and appreciate everybody that knows the quarterback situation. They got that all figured out, so it's awesome.
5 minutes ago, Double O'Neill, Mad Dog is my hero. So they're still having it going. So.
I will say this: the one thing I think it because I've told you, but everybody else probably figured it out. I'm not going to sit on here and criticize these guys. And yeah, do they get paid? They get paid. I get that, but most people have never been out there and dealt with, actually trying to play, not the criticism, all that's part of it. You sign up for it, but I'm not going to pile on that. Like I believe in these guys, and I believe in the coaches to put the right guy out there and give us the best chance. And I'm going to support them.
Well, then it'll be my job to do all the criticism. So I'll put on the bad cop hat. This guy stinks.
Post-game show at Uncle Bob's Pizza a week from Saturday. Can't wait. But fun day one here.
Yeah, fun day one. I mean, it's a blast. Fun getting to talk about the gambling side, and obviously, it's part of why you brought me on. It's my background is getting to talk about the numbers and stuff. So, always fun to be down here and get to be with the Circa family.
Well, we appreciate it. That'll do it for day one. By the way, Kent, you can win Derek's car. There's a car in front now that you can win. We said we may not be betting quite enough to be able to win that, but
yeah, I'm probably out on that.
It's a nice looking ride, though.
Nice ride.
But always appreciate it. Always enjoy coming down to Circa. If you haven't been here, get down here. Looking forward to seeing everybody down here. Great day one. Going to have fun at the pool and some of the events today. Check the site, BroncoNationNews.com. A lot of coverage. Nathan, you're still pumping out some articles. Who's the position we got up there today?
Yep, today we got a sentence or two on every cornerback on the roster. And then as well, we've got the gambling column. First gambling column of the year up. Dove into some of the win totals, some of the futures, gave a national title pick as well as a Pac-12 title pick for you guys.
There you go. So we'll leave you with some sights and sounds. Circa Resort and Casino. Great day one. Looking forward to it again. 9 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Mountain time. Brad Bedell will join us as well tomorrow. So looking forward to that tomorrow. 10 a.m. Here in or 9 a.m. here in Vegas, 10 a.m. back in Boise. Appreciate you guys. Radio Row, we're one of 30 outlets, and proud to be here thanks to Circa. So have a great rest of your day. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. Go subscribe, and we'll see you guys at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News online, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.